bounce, pass. Pass, kick, pass. Dunk it.
What?
Funk it.
Sure.
Serve it. Here. Work it. Jockular. We're about to get jockular.
Welcome to Jockular.
The show where we chat about women's sports and try to get the hottest trans athletes to slide into our DMs. Please.
Please.
It's working.
It's really working.
Wait, it's working for the two of you?
It's work. Is it not working for you?
It is not working for me.
Okay.
Okay, everybody,
you guys
listen.
Come through.
But I will say, something I've loved in my DMs is other gals who had to dress business casual because they were fat middle schoolers sending me their middle school pictures dressed like realtors.
Okay.
How beautiful.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Shout out. I see you. I appreciate it.
That's stunning.
Yeah, but no trans athletes as of today.
Okay, well, let's
maybe
change that.
Maybe they thought you were in a relationship because you talk about it all the time.
Well, I am in a relationship with
doesn't
a
mean you
woman I
can't slide.
love.
Right.
And we started dating because she slid into my DMs.
So.
But that's not changing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We are in love and it is a long-term monogamous
All right.
relationship.
Yeah, no, I misread.
I
I
love
misread
it.
it.
I love that.
So today, what are we going to talk about?
Wait, we have to introduce ourselves.
Oh,
We need to. Okay.
if you don't know me by now,
Yes, go ahead.
my name is Katie Gershaw. My pronouns are she, her.
My name's ER Fightmaster. They, them.
And my name is Tien Tran, and my pronouns are she, her.
Yay.
And today on the show, we're going to be talking about the Elite Eight.
Okay.
And a beautiful Elite Eight it was.
Beautiful Elite
Stunning.
Eight.
We're also introducing a new segment that's going to be recurring. This is called
Gossip
Ghouls.
Ghoul is gender neutral for
It is.
girl.
Ghouls are
It's
Gender neutral.
for girl.
And in,
I think we just kind of I don't know if that worked.
and,
Yeah, no, it works.
and in our Gossip Ghouls segment, we will be talking about Kim Mulkey and Corbin
And that
Allen.
Washington Post article.
yeah.
And we're also going to be, getting closer on the final of our Queer Madness bracket. So
Where are we even with Queer Madness? I don't know, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because it's madness.
Madness.
It's Queer Madness!
Ooh, burr, I'm so cold.
But first, let's talk about the amazing weekend of women's basketball that we just all experienced. The Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight.
Now, I watched it from my couch. Where did you all watch it from?
I watched it, well, I'm sorry, my boss. I watched it on my couch and I watched it on my phone while I was in the writer's room. The phone was on my laptop.
Incredible.
Yeah, I had no option. And then
That's
at
the
one
right
point,
option.
my boss was like, I think my boss was doing the same thing. My boss was like, you can just watch it in my office.
Y'all, I went to Portland and I watched it live.
Tien,
I watched it live.
tell us everything.
I mean, it was just so magical. The energy was amazing. The stadium was full. I got to see the Portland regionals. So the teams that I got to see were NC State, who I didn't get to see.
Awesome.
I didn't follow them very much. Stanford, Texas. There are so many games I don't remember, but the big games that I absolutely loved watching was I saw the UConn USC game live.
Wow.
And watching Paige Beckers and Juju Watkins go basket for basket. We were also sitting behind the basket, so it was like they were driving towards us. Do you know that?
That's really
It's
cool.
so cool to see. It was just amazing. It was amazing.
I had my cousin texted me to tell me he was watching these games, and he was like, it's basically was the first games that he'd watched all season, and I think some of the first women's basketball games he's watched, and he was like, this is amazing. And I was like, you came in at the perfect time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was also really cool to see that the crowd was so diverse, but my favorite folks were the older dykes that have clearly been watching women's basketball for so
Yes.
long. And now we sat next to a couple that was wearing matching WNBA sweatshirts, and they were just I can't believe it's finally like this. And you're like, you've worked for this.
Oh, yeah.
You
Boots on the
deserve
ground.
this. These
They have
fans
been.
deserve this.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I feel
know.
like that happens. We've said it many times on here. Anytime you go to a women's game, you see those people, and it's just so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
And you know how long they've been there.
Yes.
And I cry at most women's sporting events.
I do too.
I really do. It's so emotional. But for the people, like you said, like your cousin who were tuning in for the first time,
Mhm.
like if you've only heard hype about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, you watch that game and it's like beyond your expectations.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
unbelievable. That first quarter was so high scoring. I mean, it
Yeah.
was and they were great teams. They were great teams to watch because actually, like I know we always talk about Caitlin Clark, but the Iowa team is stacked. Like
Oh, yeah.
and LSU just has like. I mean, LSU has been taking so much shit from the press for their energy. I don't have that
I
is
love
my
them.
that's my favorite team
love
to
them.
watch.
I love them.
I cried when they lost because I was sad that we are not going to get to see this iteration of this team
Yes.
ever again.
I know. And they're such a fun, exciting team, too. And but the best part about that game, too, is that the expectations were so high
Mhm.
and they exceeded them, in my
How?
opinion. But all of them, like, they were shooting lights out in the first half. And to go into the halftime tied, these two amazing teams, you're like, this is what we've been telling you the whole time.
Angel Reese hurt her ankle and
Yes.
played through it without complaining.
Yeah.
That's some badass shit.
Caitlin Clark was shooting lights out from 3 points. And one of my favorite things from the game is that, like, did you see that Haley Van Lith meme?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Haley
I-
Van Lith memes.
I've seen a lot of the memes, but which one in particular?
The one meme where, like, she's guarding Caitlin Clark really, really well. Close, hands up in the face. Caitlin takes a step back three. It goes in, and Haley Van Lith turns around and shrugs and is like, what else am I supposed to do?
I mean, I don't
Angel
think.
Reese did the same
And then-
thing.
yes.
They're
Yes.
all kind of like, well, what the fuck?
Fuck.
I mean, come on.
I mean, I don't necessarily agree that Haley Van Lith should have been guarding Caitlin the entire time
Mhm.
or for as long as she did. I mean, it's just 5'7", 6 foot, best shooter in the world.
Yes.
Haley's a fucking phenomenal player. Don't get me wrong, but it just didn't always feel matched.
Who would you put up?
Flage.
Yeah.
And who
Hmm.
did come
Energetically
in.
a better matchup anyway.
Yes, 1,000%. I don't know shit about shit, obviously, but that just makes more sense.
Yeah.
You know shit about shit.
You do know shit about shit.
Why are you saying
Stop
that?
it. I
Yes,
feel
you
like every
do.
episode you kind of bring me up.
Well,
and
you know
I
what?
love
Let's
it.
change it then. You're shit.
Yeah, you're I don't.
Yeah,
I
trust
couldn't
me.
do
They
it.
don't like it. No, Katie,
I
they don't
couldn't
like
do
doing
Yeah,
it.
that.
no,
We're not
I
going to do
don't
that
like
for you.
doing that.
I know that's your kink.
I
We
know.
can't do it.
The
for
other
you.
teams that we left out talking about is NC State, who I think is like a sleeper hit.
They are, and their men's team is a sleeper hit
I
too.
know.
Uh,
And they have these two amazing players. Got to see them live. Isaiah James and Sanaya Rivers giving so much cool queer energy on the court. I don't know if you're seeing it,
Oh
but
my
it's
God.
incredible.
Yes, and phenomenal names.
And phenomenal names and phenomenal players.
yes.
They were so cool.
What's your favorite name from the tournament?
Juju Watkins.
I think mine is going to be Sanaya Rivers.
I think mine's Audie Crooks.
Oh, Audie
'cause
Crooks
you
is a
love
great
Audie.
name.
I think Crooks is so badass. Like
It is a
Mhm.
like that's just a badass name. It's like you might as well be like Cowboy Crooks. Like
Cowboy Crooks. I like that. Send
That's
that to her.
Okay, I'm gonna
Badass.
hold on.
Send that to her when
Can
she
we,
shoots.
guys, can we pause? I'm gonna text her.
Oh, I forgot you all are texting now.
Yeah, we're all texting.
Well,
Wait,
I'm
what?
texting a lot of them and they don't text back. But
Okay, I'm not texting anybody.
Also tried to watch the game at the Sports Bra. Tried to watch the Albany game at the Sports Bra. It was packed. Couldn't get in.
Oh my God.
But my favorite thing was that we were standing in line and there was a woman in front of us with a motorcycle jacket, helmet in hand, was standing in line and just goes, bunch of happy dykes in there. Good to see. I'm gonna go, and then got on her motorcycle
Stop
and
it.
drove away.
this is when
That's not what she wanted?
No,
No, she wanted- she
wanted
wanted
it.
it.
She wanted it, but there was like we were at like the Sports Bra was at capacity.
Right,
We
right,
were like
right.
10th in line. There was everyone was parked to watch the Caitlin Clark
Right.
Iowa, like the Iowa LSU game. Well, that's all for our Elite 8 Sweet 16 roundup. We got more games coming up tomorrow. Please get ready for the Final Four.
I cannot fucking wait.
It's going to be amazing.
I'm nervous. I was like on the edge of my seat for both of those games. For all of the games, but for LSU, Iowa, and then for USC, UConn, and I could barely breathe.
Either one of those games could have been
A final.
the final.
Yes.
And so I just feel so blessed. Like, it feels gluttonous to be a women's sports fan right now.
Yes. Okay, real quick, rapid fire. First Final Four, South Carolina, NC State. Who do you want? 1, 2, 3. South Carolina.
I want NC State, but South Carolina.
Okay. And second game, Iowa, UConn. 1, 2, 3.
Iowa. What?
You want to ruin the story.
Listen, I'm a
Or do you think, well, that'll make her story stronger?
what I really want is I know that I know in my heart of hearts and in my brain that Iowa is going to win this game, but
we don't know that. Don't say that.
we don't know
jinx
that.
We don't know that.
I don't feel jinxed by it. I think that I think I want such a tight game that I want it to be like painfully like
I think it's
close.
going to be.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want this, and in the fourth quarter they take away by 12. I want it to be there are 5 seconds left on the scoreboard.
Oof.
Caitlin Clark wins by 3. Like, that's the kind of story I want.
Okay.
You know? And I want that. I want that because I think it's better for women's sports, frankly, if Caitlin Clark takes it all. If Iowa takes it all, I think that is the most helpful to our industry. And I do have a little bit of that underdog thing of like, I liked that UConn was number 3 and beat a number 1 team. Like, I do like that shit. You know what I mean? It's exciting. So,
But I do like for me, it's like UConn is a powerhouse dynasty, and Iowa has this like chance to finally with their like golden child.
I hear you.
Yeah, and again, the whole like, is it Caitlin versus Paige or is it Caitlin versus Gino? Because Gino never scouted her. And it's all she ever wanted was to play for UConn, and he never scouted her.
And Paige is playing next year, so I guess I do have to legally change my answer
Sorry.
to I hope
Sorry
Iowa
we
wins.
bullied you.
No, you know what? Sometimes this is the thing about friendship. I came to y'all with a half-baked idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And y'all
we bullied.
you turned
And
me
then-
into a cookie. Okay.
You're a beautiful cookie.
Thank you.
Time to take a break. We'll be back with Gossip Ghouls.
Jockular. Bounce, bounce, pass. Pass, kick, pass. Jockular.
Okay. It's the first edition of
Gossip
Girls.
Once again, reminding our audience that ghouls is the gender-neutral form of girls.
So,
HBO's Ghouls.
Okay. So,
Kim Mulkey, she's the coach at Louisiana State University. She dresses like a
she's
cast member from Zoobilee Zoo or
yes.
from Under the Umbrella Tree.
To me, it looks like she's like murdered several Muppets. And,
Yeah, it is a very
and
Muppet look.
has turned them into blazers and dress, or not dress.
So
not
she's-
dresses.
I'm going to
She's a
say Elton
cartoon.
John.
Liberace.
Liberace. That
Either
works too.
or.
Either or.
She people tune in for how crazy she looks, and she's got the southern accent, and I think it's easy to make her a cartoon character. She's also the highest paid women's
Yeah. Collegiate
coach
basketball
right now.
coach.
Yeah, with $3.26 million this season. Before this, she was at Baylor. She coached Brittany Griner
Also had a successful playing career herself.
at Louisiana Tech.
Yep.
So she is this kind of storied figure, and I think it's easy to look at her as like your crazy like Aunt Kim who's dressed funny and has the funny accent. We're like, she's wild.
But she kind of does it to herself too, because she
does it to herself.
She does it to herself. I feel like she kind of wants to play that villain character
Yeah.
in the world of women's basketball, and she inhabits that. So she's very antagonistic with the refs. She's antagonistic with the press. Like
She's very intentional.
she's very intentional. Like when COVID was going around, she was like, there was a quote of her being like, "Yeah, I'm coughing, but if I don't test, then you don't know." Essentially, is what she was trying to say during all of the COVID.
Oh, because she said if y'all get sick,
Yes.
that's because of me, because I'm not testing.
And I'm tough.
Yeah.
I mean, she's truly your aunt that you kick out of the family group chat, but eventually you're like, we got to let Kim back in.
Yeah, because she has the funniest memes.
She has the best stories.
Yeah.
And then she takes it too far and says something homophobic.
Well, and so the Washington Post was going to write. I guess contacted Kim Mulkey to let her know that they'd contacted her family and that they wanted her to speak up because they were writing a kind of like a tell-all bio story about her.
Mhm.
And she now infamously came on a press conference and said, I will take you down with all the power that I have. I hired the most powerful defamation attorney in the United States of America. I am going to stand up to the media. It was giving Where Were You on January 6th?
It
It was, and
absolutely was.
her glasses were just hanging on the tip of her nose
Mhm.
as she lectured you. She was my 6th grade grammar teacher, is exactly what she looked like. And just like, if anyone tries to say a word about me, it was just so
It's
gorgeously
what a
tone
fascist
deaf.
does.
Yes. Yes.
I got so many text messages being like, what do you think is going to be in this article? And
The three of us talked about it nonstop.
Yeah, we talked about it nonstop.
And then the article came out. And it is 18 pages long. It's 18 pages long via this a truly dissertation. And it is just so underwhelming. It's underwhelming in the sense that basically they were like, she works super hard. She's a super talented coach.
Yeah.
She's a homophobe. She
It's
is
emotionally
combative.
abusive.
And we're like, yeah.
I know. I think she very strategically did that sort of like dictator 101 playbook
Yes.
where she was like, this is fake news. I will take you down.
Yes.
And I think she
Yeah.
set an expectation of how kind of damning this article would be.
Mhm.
And it's honestly kind of am I using this phrase right? Nothing burger.
Okay.
Is that right?
Of all the things I thought you were going to say, this is a big nothing burger.
Is that right?
I've never heard that in my life. Am I using this phrase right? Nothing burger.
I don't even know why I tapped into that.
I think you did use it correctly.
But it is kind of like
It's a
kind of
nothing burger.
It's a nothing burger. And it's everything that we already have either assumed or have heard about Kim Mulkey, that she's an emotionally kind of abusive coach, that she
Right-wing.
right-wing, conservative, homophobic, and not surprisingly is a high conflict person who has grudges against family members and other coaches.
And I'm disappointed by the way that she treats her gay players.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
But I'm gonna tell you, when I was reading this as like a longtime athlete, I was like, that's every coach. Like, and I know that's not the correct stance to take. But it really was like, she is the gateway to a larger conversation, because this is happening a lot behind the scenes. And the one argument that she has that she's probably correct about is she's getting maybe an unfair microscopic look at her behavior, because this is how a lot of these men have been acting for a very long time.
I don't know. Maybe there's also the fact that she's lived in this bubble of women's basketball where no one's paying attention.
Yeah.
And now people are, and the Washington Post is paying attention, and she's like, well, shit. Like, I'm going to get outed for being, where were you on January 6th? To the whole world. The whole world is actually paying attention now. And now they're going to kind of see what's going on and who I am actually. I'm not just a meme.
Yep.
I'm a person, and I'm a bad person. And maybe that was scary to her, but it's a sexist article.
It is a sexist article.
It's a sexist article in its essence, and I'm like actually mad that he didn't go harder. Like I just don't feel like he got the whole story, and the parts that he did find, like, of players that spoke up about her homophobia, I was like, give me more detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's like a couple of things. I think we can like pull some stuff out of this thing. So Mulkey defended Baylor, her former employer, amid a sexual assault scandal in its football program. So she's just kind of that kind of gal.
Love that.
This is the Mulkey. Oh, Mulkey was homophobic to Brittany Griner,
which Griner's wrote about.
And they've had a feud for more than a decade. And Mulkey also did not speak up when Griner
was detained in Russia. Yep.
Mulkey encouraged gay players to hide their sexuality and, quote, keep your business behind closed doors.
Hey, babe. So did most of America.
Yeah, it was
still
don't
to
ask,
this
don't
day.
tell. You know
Yeah.
what? This is a frustrating
Not to
thing to me.
defend her.
No, no. But what's frustrating to me is that, like, I have heard some people be like, well, it was Baylor. Like, it's written into the school code and into the institution that marriage is between a man and a woman. Like, she was just doing what the school was doing. And I'm like, that's a terrible argument.
That's so weak.
It's such a weak argument because you can even just point to the new Baylor coach who invited
Right.
Brittany Griner back to celebrate
retire
and
the
retire
jersey.
her jersey. So,
Yeah.
like, she's a homophobe. Like, she was happy to uphold the homophobic, like,
Yeah, she wore
rules
that-
of the school.
That code of conduct is like
Yes.
a beautiful cape.
When in reality, these are young, like, young players that are turning to you to be like a mentor, to be like a safe place for development as a person and as a basketball player, and for you to like push them down. I'm like, you're choosing to be homophobic.
These are the type of coaches that keep people closeted for a very long time.
Mhm.
Because I just remember playing sports. Like, it's so fun to like funny in that sad way to look back and see girls that I played with that like used to be like outright homophobic, had to wait till their late 20s to come out,
I
and are
know.
now married to women and have children. And I'm like,
You're just grabbing 5 of my teammates from my high school soccer team.
I mean, truly,
including me.
And my coach was a fucking homophobe.
Yes.
And you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I do, I think that they forget truly, or maybe they do know, but they're like, you're still the adult. Like, these kids are 18, 19, 20. Like, I know they're legally adults, but when you tell them to keep it behind closed doors, you're reinforcing the belief that they're disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not gonna like, as dumb as it sounds, like you're not gonna play at the best of your ability when you are closeted like that, when you are
No.
like so full of shame, and also you're playing against teams that may have an out coach. They could have a queer coach and queer players, and you're seeing that, and then you're going back into that closet and you're staying there.
I think all of these things can be true about Kim Mulkey. That she can be a good coach,
Mm-hmm.
that she can be an emotionally abusive, bad person to
Yes.
the players that she doesn't like,
Yeah.
that she is homophobic, and that she's incredibly successful because of some of those traits of her kind of like working hard and not giving a fuck about people. And I also think that because of all of that, I think that's a larger conversation about coaches in general, extending to like male coaches who have been applauded for this type of behavior.
whatever
Yes, yes,
the whatever it takes
The whatever
mentality.
it takes, do whatever it takes mentality. So I think like
This is a bit part of a bigger conversation where Kim Mulkey's behavior is not acceptable.
not acceptable.
No.
When it comes to the homophobia and the way that she has made some of her players feel ostracized and bullied. And let's put it in the context of coaching at large and remember that this has been going on for a very long time. And if we're going to talk about Kim, we got to talk
Talk
about
about-
everybody.
Yep.
Everyone.
Everyone.
All right. We're going to talk some more shit right now.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Speaking of homophobia,
Oh, Lord.
Katie's laughing at it. Katie, why are you laughing at
Guys,
homophobia?
because you know what? You can't cry all the time. Okay, so let's talk really quickly about...
Yes, about Corbin Albert. She's the U.S. Women's National Team midfielder. She's a
Yep.
newer player. She's 20 years old. She, it was playing for Notre Dame, went immediately, like, I think she only played at Notre Dame for like a year or two and then went professional and plays for Paris Saint-Germain in the French division. And she was recently called up to the U.S. Women's National Team squad at the end of 2023 for the first Gold Cup ever. And now she's been called up again for the She Believes Cup. But before she was called up, turns out she's been sharing and liking some transphobic and homophobic shit.
I just wonder what was going through her head when like your whole fan base,
Your teammates.
like the whole world of like it's just what's going on? like,
Nothing
in this
good.
stuff.
And she
But-
thought that was like a fun chill share.
Yeah, she thought that was just like fine and good. And one of the shares that we're talking about is that she made a TikTok on the 4th of July where she and her family take turns saying, our pronouns are USA.
I'm sorry, that's so stupid. It's so stupid.
You just gotta laugh.
I think that she has a real opportunity here. And I think the opportunity is, I actually think that this audience has a lot of grace.
I do too.
And if she goes, if she's made an apology. An apology is like, we don't. First of all, there are plenty of people in the public eye that have not made apologies for doing similar things. So that's already a first step.
It's well written too. I don't know that I believe she wrote it, but it's
No,
well written.
It is well written.
And her
It
PR
does-
team probably wrote it.
Yeah.
But that's the first step. And now if she can back it up with action, and maybe there is that difference in your brain between like I think like I grew up in a red town, and I remember hearing like bad things, like things that I now understand were offensive and bad that I parroted that were told to me. And because my town was like not super diverse, I remember thinking those things, but they weren't attached to anyone. And now she's with these trans people who she's never been actually like attached to, never been around. And this whole audience that has a much wider audience now that she's with the U.S. Women's National Team. And this is an audience that is very trans supportive. And so she's going to actually realize, or have to realize, the humanity of these people that have just been kind of an idea.
I think that you're both right in saying that like this particular audience, the U.S. Women's National Team, gives a lot of grace, and she is very young, and we have to remember too, like, I didn't know I was gay. Like, like it took me until I was like 20, 21, 22 to also stop making homophobic jokes.
Yes.
And to realize that I was a lesbian, and to come out and like, so I hope that she is at a place where she's like 20, she's open to learning, and that she's open to growing. This team is like the best place to do it, because I feel like the U.S. Women's National Team has, above all, I was listening to an interview with Sam Mewis and Lynn Williams, and they were talking about this, and they were like, some things are just bigger than soccer. Some things are just bigger than sports.
Yeah.
And that is human rights, and that's what we're talking about here.
Yes.
And that is what the women's soccer team has always foregrounded. And I hope that she knows that when she's a part of this, that is what is going to be at the foreground of what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying, you would make homophobic jokes. I would make them about myself all the time before I was out. Like, don't I look like such a lesbian?
I know.
Waiting for someone to be like, yes. Yes, you do. And isn't that nice? But it was always like a joke. Like, no, don't say that. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, you cannot blame children for indoctrination. You cannot blame children for their surroundings. But once those children leave their surroundings, and to me, I'm sorry, dear audience, 20 is a child.
Yes.
Once these children leave these surroundings, it is now their responsibility to educate and re-educate themselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I'm gonna say, as much as we wanted to kind of roast her and gossip ghouls,
I know we kind of came around on giving her grace.
I want to give her grace.
Yeah.
I want to give her an opportunity, because I think that could be a really beautiful moment to make women's sports an arena where you can fuck up, and if you don't tell, the audience will forgive you.
I love that, and I hope that's true.
Yeah.
She's a really good player too.
Let's talk about something.
Unfortunate.
Let's talk about something really fucking stupid.
Yes, let's do it.
Someone we can roast?
Yes.
Now I'm gonna go hard on this bitch.
So it turns out, in the Elite Eight up in Portland for the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight, the 3-point lines for either side were not equal. One was longer than the other, which is insane. How did it happen? And of course, it would happen in like a large, important women's sporting event.
Also off by like 9 inches, which is like massive.
It's so much.
Yeah, and what did Vic Schaefer, the Texas coach, was like, I have a lot of friends that would say only in women's basketball.
Yep, and it's true.
Of course.
Only in women's basketball. But we did find the article about who noticed.
And you found it.
I know. Thanks to my wife who sent it to me. Because it was like, who noticed this? Who noticed this? And of course, it's a Portland divorce lawyer.
Fuck you already.
Man who was by himself at the game, who had never been to a women's sporting event.
The first question they ask him is, are you a women's sports fan? And he says, no.
No.
It was just a $10 ticket and I was free.
Yeah, it was $10, so I thought I'd check it out.
And then they
left his family at home.
Left his family, his
left
wife
his
and
wife
kids.
with his kids to go to a thing he didn't even want to fucking do.
Because he's like, who's going to represent you when we get a divorce, baby? I'm the best in the biz.
Why would you
Good
marry
luck.
a divorce attorney? Like, please.
Please. Free yourself.
First of
I
all,
think-
stop marrying men. Second of all, don't marry divorce attorneys.
Say it loud, say,
Say
it
it
proud.
Next.
But then they were like, oh, so how did you know? He's like, I noticed within 3 seconds. And you're like, great.
Okay.
Of course,
All right.
we'd have some person come in and mansplain the NCAA court
Yeah, I
to us.
proofread. I look for grammar mistakes.
Literally
How could
things he
you
said.
not see it?
Yes.
Literally
He's like, I
things
do
he
this for
said.
my life. Maybe it's because I'm type A. Maybe this is just who I am.
You're just a little prick.
And instead of immediately, I think the first thing he did was take a picture and put it onto Reddit.
That was going to be his
Bitch,
first move.
I wondered who y'all were, and now I know. The people that go straight to Reddit,
I
I
know.
wondered. Now I know.
It's divorce
We know.
lawyers.
It is divorce lawyers
We're-
in Portland.
We're all turning into Kim Mulkey right now.
I know.
We're like, yeah, I see y'all.
I see y'all.
But-
if you say anything bad about my 3-point line, I will sue you.
I have hired the absolute best divorce attorney in all of the United States of America to check and see if those 3-point
and you
lines
know
are
he's
even.
good because he doesn't spend time with his family.
He lives in Portland.
That was a kind of surprising part.
That he's in Portland. That was what shocked all of us. He also like name checks his neighborhood.
Yeah, he does.
And then
All of it is weird. I feel like he was the one that looked at the reporter and said, please mention that I'm a divorce attorney
100%.
as many times as possible.
But then he kind of texts. He texts
his partners, like the name of his law firm is in it. Okay, anyway.
Is it really?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
Oh my
100%.
god. Okay, we can't say
So
it.
he points it out to his like guy friends, I guess, that he's with, and his guy friends like go down there, and he says in the article, he's like, I'm not gonna walk down from the 300 section. So his friend like texts, I guess, somebody who knows in the NCAA,
Yes.
and it's like, hey, just so you know, and so they take out rulers and they start to measure it, and he says that his. Well, I guess wife and children who are at home watching the game. Reminder:
He
only $10
and
tickets.
did not
He's a
buy
divorce
him
attorney.
did not buy them for his family.
No.
They're at home watching the game and they go like, why is there a delay of game, Dad? And he writes back, I guess I may have caused that.
I think he was also like, look at me annoying my kids from the stadium.
Do you think his kids looked at their mom and was like, how is he annoying us? And he's not
Right, you-
here.
No, I think they
You
were at
need to divorce him, Mom.
they were at home. The windows were open. There was a cool breeze. They were
were having the
baking
best
cookies.
time.
It was
Yeah.
finally calm and beautiful.
Yes.
Mhm.
I want that woman out of there. I want her kids to know they can come stay at my house.
Okay, I guess I'll leave him.
Okay, now.
Ken!
Sorry,
This is-
I'll leave him.
That's your quote unquote wife?
Yes, that's my
Is a
wife.
divorce
It's a
attorney in
Portland
Portland?
divorce lawyer.
That's why you were in Portland.
That's
this
why I was
weekend.
in Portland.
This is such
Sorry.
bullshit.
I can't believe. I mean, I will say you're such a pioneer to be a lesbian with 2 families.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
to
one
live in Oregon.
One in LA, one in and
Pioneer.
one in Portland.
Pioneer.
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 That is me.
I've hired the best attorney.
It's nice that we are so like measured about all the women that we talk about on the pod. It's so nice to just go ham on some stupid bitch boy.
Who says that he doesn't like women's sports?
I if I meet you in the street, sir, you're my number one slap.
The best is that he doesn't. Well, and who does he want to slap him? All of us.
All of us.
He doesn't even say he dislikes women's sports. He's just like, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Don't even have an opinion. And we're like, fuck
you.
My slap is gonna shoot that man to the moon. He's gonna be the first man on Mars.
First man on Mars.
Thank you all for joining us for our very first Gossip
Ghouls.
Girls.
Ghouls.
Send us
Ghouls.
any other topics that you want us to gossip. Well, send us like 2 fun women's stories and then 1 man that we can absolutely roast.
And I'm sure we will be
Oh,
stressed
yes.
out
That's
during the
genius.
games tomorrow.
Yes.
So please send us delightful memes.
Stay hydrated. Get a lot of snacks up in there. You're not going to be leaving your couch for what, 4 hours? Get ready.
and any male enemies you may have.
Yeah, please send us any male enemies and
Yeah.
we will roast them.
And you know what? We love you
Yeah, we do.
We do.
so much. Ugh.
We love you so
love
much.
Love you so
Much.
much.
Okay, well, now for a quick break because we're going to be back with Queer
Madness!
Jockular.
And we're back for the last part of
Queer
Madness.
March Madness!
For queers.
If you've been tuning in every episode, we've had a tournament between all the most classically gay, iconically queer. Katie's crying because she's so excited. She's crying again because she's so excited about who's going to win. Because this is going to change people's lives.
Yeah.
The world.
It's going to change the world. It's going to fix every problem.
Bro, I am looking at matchup 1 and matchup 2 right now. And I'm sweating.
All right.
Like, this is so serious now.
It's really serious, and people's feelings are going to get hurt.
And well, and we'd like to thank the audience for weighing in the way that you have. Do not think that we are taking this lightly. Matchup 1 is short sleeve button-ups versus Ellen getting canceled. Folks, I actually think this one's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
It's short sleeve button-ups. And you guys
Really
voted
were
for short sleeve
rooting for
button-ups
it.
so hard.
In a way that it's hard to describe. I will say, I think that there was a company that makes short sleeve button-ups in some of the comments. So felt like
hoping
it was
we get
sponsored.
some.
And we would love some.
And we would love some.
Okay, but we also have to, next year we have to talk about interference, you know?
Exactly. We really, really do.
Illegal
That's next
interferences.
year.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's next year.
Next year.
When we cover pleated khaki pants, I'm sure
Which we might.
We might.
High-waisted.
Belted.
Okay.
And our other final matchup.
Wow.
This one's
fucked.
tough.
I feel sick to my fucking stomach looking at this.
This one is Carol is a Christmas Movie versus Bet and Tina. Two giants
Two giants.
facing off.
Well, and this is when I know that we're taking this seriously because I know where I'm voting right now, and I'm not voting with my heart. I'm voting with my head.
I know.
On the count of 3, do you want to say your pick?
I'm too fucking stressed, but okay.
1, 2, 3.
Bet and Tina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carol means the world to me. I loved that movie. I'm a Blanchett head. Bet and Tina is just unfucking deniable.
No, it's undeniable, and y'all agreed with us.
Yes,
'cause-
thank you.
Thank you for Okay. saying.
Yeah, so the final matchup is short sleeve button-ups versus Bet and Tina.
Short sleeve button ups versus Bet and Tina. I repeat, and let us say this: we couldn't take on this responsibility. We are all too torn, and this feels like the limit of my expertise. I actually don't know which one of these is more prolifically gay or iconically queer.
I don't know.
And so we are going to throw this to you, the audience. It's your responsibility to vote on this.
Please help us.
Please.
And whoever wins, you help choose it.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the show. And rate and review, but only if you like us. If you don't like us, I mean, I think we can all agree you're homophobic.
Yeah.
So please
100%.
100% homophobic
Yeah.
if you don't like us.
It's going to be 5 stars or bust, folks.
Yeah, it's
Or
5
you're
stars or
homophobic.
nothing.
We've got a couple 1 stars I'm going to tell you right now.
For
Homophobes.
sure, homophobes.
Homophobes.
We also
they can't live that freely.
we also love hearing what you want us to talk about. So email us at jockularpod@hyperobjectindustries.com.
And follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Jockular Pod. Thank you
Thank you for listening. And that's a wrap. Jockular is a production of HyperObject Industries with Meadowlark Media and was produced by Zaylee Mahone and Haley Fager. Original music and theme are by Nick Gage and ER Fightmaster. Dan Gallucci is our engineer, and our executive producers are Harry Nelson, Claire Slaughter, Dan Lebitard, and Adam McKay.
Bounce, bounce, pass. Pass, kick, pass. Dunk it.
What?
Funk it. Sure. Serve it. Here. Work it. Switch. Jockular. We're about to get jockular.